Continuing a conversation with Chris St. Hilaire, persuasion expert, president, CEO of Jury Impact, and recently author of 27 Powers of Persuasion. We don't have time for all 27, but let's look at a couple. First, focus on a goal.
Sure, and you know, what I've tried to provide in the book is both a context for understanding why it's important, but also some practical examples and tactics for people to use to become a leader, even when there's no official leader within a group, or even if there's no interest in becoming the leader of the group, helping that group form consensus and get everyone marching in the same direction.
And you mentioned in the book, don't announce the goal, but let the goal emerge from the group, and then they have buy-in, and they're more likely to be helpful.
Well, everyone's going to think that the best ideas in the room came from them, and that's
Yes.
natural. We want to contribute. We want to
Sure.
be right. And so to the extent when you're part of a group and you're trying to create consensus, you should ask right up front, what is the goal? What are we trying to accomplish?
Don't announce it, but ask the group
Don't
let the goal emerge from the group.
You're exactly
right. And then
right.
they all have buy-in.
And then what you've done is mutualized the goal. And so allowing that to happen and allowing that process to take place, it gets people halfway to persuasion before they've even realized that persuasion has begun.
Wow. There's an old saying, apropos of having a goal, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. But so it is important to have a goal, and here's a way to get it from the group. Get others involved. Well, you just mentioned that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, really, this book is a language, so it's meant to be read from Power 1 to Power 27 the first time, but you'll find yourself going from Power 25 to 14 to 17 back to 3 because it really does flow nicely together, and that's because we've incorporated that Buddhist philosophy of flow. And so once you've learned that language of flow, you can utilize these powers and be successful.
Use numbers to make points.
You know, and I use this statistic in speeches quite a bit, 88% of people in America will believe any made-up statistic. and as you just realized, I made that statistic up, but you know, for
sounds credible.
It sounds credible, and you don't want to over-statistic people because then you can lose them. But finding 1, 2, 3 numbers and using them in an argument it makes your argument seem more quantitative, more provable, more statistically valid, and it gives it more credibility in the end. You saw that actually in a lot of commercials where 9 out of 10 dentists will support one particular type of toothpaste, or you know, 4 out of 5 moms prefer Jif. You see these numbers used in commercials because they work.
There's a famous little book called How to Lie with Statistics. I'm sure you're not advocating lying with statistics.
Well, no, but you know, the truth is an interesting word. If everyone agreed on the truth, you wouldn't have lawsuits. If everyone agreed on the truth, you wouldn't have competing political parties, and you wouldn't have different products on the shelves. The fact is, what's best, what is the truth, is in the eye of the beholder. And so your ability to capture that language and tell the story in a way that's most persuasive with your version of the truth, being ethical and all of those things, is incumbent upon you.
The late Senator Patrick Moynihan had a famous quote, which I love, and you can use it in arguments. He said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but not to your facts."
Yes, and you can argue opinions. And when I run focus groups, one of the first things I say is there's no such thing as a wrong opinion. We put on voter issues, of which I'm doing a lot this year in California. We put Democrats, Republicans, and independents around the table. And so we're going to have an interesting debate, and it's much more fun for me when people are arguing, as long as they're arguing their version of the truth honorably and ethically and responsibly, then those differences of opinion are a good thing.
Fourth, learn to use silence.
And as you know from television, 5 seconds of silence can seem like
deadly.
An eternity. However, you'll also know that reporters use silence to their advantage every day. And so when you're done answering a reporter's questions, many times they'll sit there and silently nod because they realize that the best answers usually come at the end of an answer. And so giving that conversation, giving that listener an opportunity to tell you what they really think generates two things usually. One, they'll get to the reality much more easily, and they'll tell you what they really think, because the first time they're telling you what they think you want to hear, and at the end when you're nodding, they summarize things more appropriately, more clearly, more articulately, and the best sound bites come at the end of a sentence.
And finally, and very importantly, own the language. We learn in law school that if you can frame the question your way, you've won 80% of the battle. So there's a struggle to frame the issue in a way that you want, but that's just a special case of owning the language. Speak to that.
You know, in politics, I use the example that 75% of Americans oppose welfare. And you have roughly 77% of Americans who support a social safety net. You tell me the difference. The difference is that the language that you use. And so your ability to use language that resonates with people, that fits your goal, and that helps you capture the debate allows you to claim victory. And so in the end, it's always a battle of words and language, because they evoke images and they create thematics, which people are either going to support or oppose based on your ability to own that language.
We learned as kids, sticks and stones can break, but names can never hurt. But that is not true. Words are powerful. Names can be killers.
Names are everything. If you look at the school choice debate, you'll see that the average American calls it vouchers. And so it doesn't pass because Americans support vouchers and oppose vouchers, I should say, and support school choice. It's the same thing. Yeah. So, you know, one of the chapters in the book is choice, fairness, and accountability, the three most popular words in the English language. And so I can say in any debate, I want to ensure fairness and preserve choices and hold everyone accountable. I can insert any issue I want.
Amen to that. We got to take a break. We'll be right back with more of this great discussion.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
At Performance Plus Tire, you'll find we carry Toyo tires. For over 50 years, Toyo has been a world leader in the development of high-quality tires. Optimum performance, safety, and a comfortable ride. That's what makes Toyo tires great. And now come into Performance Plus Tire for a great deal on these Toyo tires. Proxys ST, Open Country AT, and Proxys 4. Toyo tires, driven to perform. Come in today and we'll install new Toyo tires on your vehicle while you wait. Performance Plus Tire on Cherry Avenue, 1 mile north of the 405 in Long Beach.
When I was a boy growing up in Italy, I had a dream to own my own store. I came to the United States and I worked hard as a tailor. Hi, I'm Umberto. I've been in Long Beach since 1960, carrying the finest quality men's clothing. Italy's a long way away, but styles are just around the corner. Umberto, 2141 Bellflower, Long